Hi, I'm Kristen Davis, and I want to know, are you a Charlotte? Today we have a very special guest, everybody. On Are You a Charlotte, we have the incredible Kane Peterson. You may remember him from a very, very fun episode in the middle of season 3 called Hot Child in the City. He plays the comic book store owner that Carrie ends up dating, and there's pot involved and all kinds of fun things. Kane is a great guy. He's super interesting. He is a radio personality, an actor, and a podcaster. And this is one of his biggest acting jobs. So it's really, really fun to hear his take on the whole experience. He has a lot of memories. Please join me and listen to my conversation with the fantastic Kane Peterson. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Wow, your sound is incredible.
Is it? Good.
We knew it would be.
I use it because I have a podcast and I record my radio show out of here too, so it has to be.
I saw. I'm so fascinated. I need to hear your whole story.
Well, I'll give it to you. I'll try not to bore you, but you know.
No, you're not going to bore me. Tell me everything. Go back in time.
Okay.
To when you were on Sex and the City.
Okay.
Because you're great.
Really? Because
yes.
I just watched. Thank you so much for saying that. I just watched it again, maybe like an hour ago. And because I've probably seen it. Like I sat down with the family the first time it premiered, and it was a big to-do, right? It was fantastic. And I was so critical that I couldn't really enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like
I do.
And so I would just see it in bits and pieces here and there. I'd watch part of it and go like, I could have read that better. I could have done that better. And then I get embarrassed. I'd shut it off. And then, but I watched it this last time now, an hour ago. And I gave myself some grace. It was a fantastic episode. And not just me though, but like the entire episode, every storyline was hilarious.
I agree.
You're Rebecca and Schooner. And I mean, that whole thing was fantastic.
I agree. I love that episode. And I hadn't really remembered it that well because it's kind of a bit of a departure from our norm in a really interesting way. And I don't ever think I met you. Which I think because we just didn't work together, right?
No, yeah, we didn't have any lines together, and I was hoping that I would get the chance, but there was one day where I thought I might, because this is how great Sarah Jessica was, and not that I'm probably going to go all over the place here, but
cool.
I thought I would meet you here. She had found out. I didn't tell her, but she had found out that it was my birthday.
Oh,
and so we're at Silver Cup Studios, right?
Right.
And I get it's a lunch. And I felt just like I was in junior high again. I could never sit with the cool kids. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know where to go. And all of a sudden, I hear, hey, Kane. And it was Sarah Jessica calling me over to the table, and she had got me a birthday cake.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. And there were so many people there, like crew and stuff. And it was fantastic. Yeah.
That's
how
great.
sweet
Had
she is.
you met her in the audition process? What was that like?
Yeah. The first time I went in, because I was on VH1 at the time, and I'm a radio guy at heart. And my agent called me one day and he goes, hey, do you want to go audition for Sex and the City? I'm like, what's that? You know, I'm a cool guy on Howard Stern's rock radio station. You know, I don't know what that is. I'm like, sure, I'll go. And I auditioned, and I just wore what I usually wear and didn't really give it much thought. And my boss my agent calls me a couple of days later. He goes, yeah, you got a call back. I'm like, oh, what does that mean? Because they want you to go read again. They want you to read with Sarah. I'm like, oh, all right, cool. So I show up then for that second audition, and I'm sitting in the lobby. You've probably had these experiences, maybe like way back, you know?
Oh, yes.
You're sitting there and you're looking at everybody. I recognize people who are in this audition. Right. I'd never done this before. I'm sitting there going, I'm never going to get this. There's a kid from Kids in the Hall on one chair.
Wow.
There's Adam Goldberg, you know, the crazy roommate from Friends, Chandler's roommate. He's there. I'm like, these are people that I know. What am I doing here? Almost got up and left. Wow. But I went in and I auditioned with her, and there's a room full of people, and I'm too stupid to be nervous, too ignorant to be nervous.
Fantastic.
You're right? I know, thank God. And we had some laughs, and they laughed and clapped, whatever. I left, and I get the call. It's like, yeah, you got it. And then talking to Sarah later, like during the filming, she said, by the way, we kind of knew you had it once you walked in the room. Before you even auditioned, they're like, that's him. I guess you have.
Love it.
See, I didn't know how acting works. I'm like, apparently you guys have in your head already what the character looks like. And
So
what I brought to it, I guess, she goes, you would have really had to be super bad to not get that gig.
But I do think it's a weird thing. I think it's partly because you also weren't nervous, right? Because sometimes I think people can really fit all of the parameters, but then are so shut down, which I've definitely gone through myself, right? Like the nerves just shut you fully down, right? And that obviously doesn't help people feel like your vibe, but you were just so perfectly cast. You're just so great in it.
Thank you.
It's so good. And you and she have such great chemistry. It was exciting.
It was so great. I mean, like, thank you so much for saying that, because it's really, it was a highlight of my life. I remember being on the on set, had a trailer with my name on it. I'm like, oh my God, this is so weird.
Nice.
And we filmed over my birthday, July 19th of 2000.
Wow. Yeah.
And I'm in the trailer and I call Mom, I go, Mom, I never guess what, like the first time you got a cell phone in your car. Guess where I am? I'm in my car. I'm in a trailer with my name on it. I'm like, I told my mom too, I'm like, this is probably the apex. It's probably not going to get any better than this. And it was a great moment we had on the phone, and not in a bad way. It was just like, and it turns out that was an absolute highlight of my career.
I'm so glad. I mean, this is why we wanted to talk to you, because you're a very unique, character in our whole scheme of things. And that was one of the fun things about the show, is that there weren't that many shows filming at the time in New York. There was like Law and Order, so very cop. And then Us, very different. And once we really got going and kind of found our vibe, our role, our niche, we really got to kind of pick and choose who we wanted to some extent. And you're just so perfect. And then I was like, where is that Kane guy? We got to talk to him. And you have this whole world that you have created since then. It's super interesting.
It wasn't really a stretch role wise for me. I mean, that was pretty much who I am. I'm kind of a goober, but can I ask you a question about the episode itself? Because you mentioned it earlier. You said like the episode it's so very different from a lot of the other ones. And I looked it up. I remembered his name was Alan, but the guy who wrote it was Alan Heinberg.
Yeah.
And so many people who have come up to me and told me, a lot of people say it's their favorite episode. And a lot of people also say it's so much different than all the other episodes. And I never really explained it, but in my head and what other people have told me, it's because like Alan wrote this one episode and then didn't write any others. And I don't know why he never wrote any others, but was that what you attribute it to? Is like,
yes, you're absolutely correct. So Alan is a great guy. He is super into comic books and whatnot. He's gone on to run shows that are based on kind of comic novellas. I don't even know how I should be describing them, but he's had quite a career in his niche, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how he came. I should find Alan and ask him. I don't know how he came on to our show, but sometimes our writer's room, Michael Patrick King, our executive producer, would kind of just want another voice in, right? Because mostly we had women, and then we had Darren Star and Michael Patrick. Darren had created the show. Michael was our showrunner. And he would think, you know what? We need a straight guy's voice, or we need another guy's voice, or, whatever. So he would bring different people in, and they might only write one. Maybe they spent some time in the writer's room just like, talking about ideas, right? But they would be assigned one. And this was his baby, where he got to just create what he wanted to create. And what I do remember about the episode, which is so trivial, but the summer before, we had been filming in New York, and it was one of those crazy hot summers. You know how some summers are just like really hot and the whole city smells bad. And
I was going to say rough. Putrid. Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. The summer before had been that. And so this episode called Hot Child in the City, where you guys spray each other with the hose on your mom's balcony, which is all so hysterical. It was supposed to be really hot based on last summer, but it wasn't. That's what I remember about it.
Oh, really? It was hot enough to where I wasn't like bitching about getting wet.
Right. But it wasn't like the year before, where we were just sweating, just so uncomfortable. But I love the episode because it is so different. And I love it right from the get-go when she's going to try to find her dry cleaning. And like you have those moments where you go to somewhere in New York and it's gone. You're like, wait, where's the place that I used to be right here? And in its place is your character's comic store, which is so adorable.
Yeah.
I mean, did you love all that? What'd you think?
Yeah. I mean, here's what's funny about it is I'm looking at it now and I'm remembering, how when you watch yourself in something and you can remember, it's hard to actually watch it for what it is, because as you're watching it, you're thinking about what was going on that day, or I remember filming that, right?
Yes.
And so I'm watching it now. I've been so far removed, so I'm watching it going like, God, why wasn't I more nervous? I remember not even like, I feel like I didn't appreciate it. I feel like I didn't soak it in, because it was just so, everyone's telling you what to do and it's new. And I go here. I go there. Like, it was so, I don't know, just mechanical that I really didn't appreciate it. Now watching it back now, I'm like, okay, I kind of get what I was thinking at the time. But that was the very first thing we ever shot. We just started with that scene. And
well, it's perfect. You're perfect. You're amazing.
Thank you.
I do think, though, as an actor, because you're trying to do so many different things, right? And there are so many people telling you what you need to do. And then you have your own interior life. It's very hard to actually soak it in also and do your job.
Yeah. I don't remember getting a whole lot of direction. Like, I would read the line and, I'd mess something up or whatever. And of course, she never messed anything up. It was always me. And, they would just say, oh, do it again. But maybe there wasn't like, I was so worried about, I'm not going to be able to follow their instruction. It's going to be totally opposite of what's coming natural. But no, there was none of that. And it was the best direction anybody gave me. It was Sarah, the bedroom scene, where she takes me home for the first time. And like, so we're on our knees on the bed, and right before they yell action, she leans in and she goes, no tongue. And I go, I wasn't gonna, I was like, I'd never done it before, but I was aware. I knew that I probably shouldn't stick my tongue down her throat, and I wasn't going to, but I think
that's
funny.
Good. I think that's good. And she was just trying to be professional and polite.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I should tell him. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's good. That's really good. I'm glad that they didn't overdirect you, because I do think that's part of what is so incredibly winning about your performance, is that you seem like a regular guy, and it's really refreshing on our show,
Yeah, thank you. I took that. I got a lot of auditions after that.
Did you? What happened? Yeah. What was it like?
Well, I got the taste, and now all of a sudden I'm like, well, maybe I do want to be an actor. So, William Morris, my agent at the time, was all hopped up on me now. I got an acting role the first time I ever tried out for one, which is unheard of. Absolutely. I'm sorry. I don't know how many actors I told that story to, and they just were so mad. They're like, that ain't how it works. But so totally. I kept flying out to LA for pilot season, like, every year, and trying out for this and that. And, it's weird. You probably, I'm sure you've gone through this. Things you've tried out for, but maybe didn't get. And then you watch it, you see the movie, and it comes to the scene that you read for. Isn't that weird? You're like, I was watching a Kieran Culkin movie. Like, this was like a few months ago. And all of a sudden there was a scene that was super familiar. And I'm like, because I saved all my scripts. I'm like, wait.
Oh, wow.
I auditioned for it. It was just weird to hear those words.
Yeah, but it is weird.
I almost remember Will and Grace when...
Yes, I was on Will and Grace.
Grace's character dates Woody Harrelson.
Yes.
That was mine. And then they were like, well, they called and said, Woody Harrelson wants to do it. He said he would do it. Of course, you got to go with Woody. And they were afraid I was a bit too green still for an arc, because it was multiple episodes.
Yeah.
So that came close. That was the closest I got to getting something else. And if I get that, who knows? Maybe something else changes. I'm doing great now. I love radio and I love all the stuff that I'm doing. But
I mean, you're doing incredible. You have a podcast.
Yeah.
You're on the forefront of all the things that everybody's doing. You have a great voice. So I see why all the things, but I'm sad that for us that you didn't work more, because I think you're very interesting,
thank you.
Working our side, but it's good that you get to do what you're doing and that you love it.
Yeah. I got another great Sarah, because people always ask me, how was Sarah? And so I think this is another great story with the birthday story that speaks to about what a great person she is.
Yeah.
So the first day that I show up, we're sitting in the makeup trailer, and she's there, and she's already sitting there, and she was so friendly. One of the first things she said was like, wow, your arms. Cause I was working out a lot then.
Yes,
so she complimented me right there, like sets me up for a great day. Right. And we just start talking. We realize we have baseball in common and stuff. And
she loves
she's
baseball.
a Yankee. Yeah.
Yes.
She loves her Yankees and stuff. Probably still does. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. That's fandom. Once you're a fan, you're always a fan.
Totally.
And I come back the next day and all of a sudden she's rattling because she asked me what my favorite team was. I grew up in Minnesota. So I said, it's the Minnesota Twins. Oh. So I sit down the next day and she's rattling off all these. She goes, oh, I see the Twins lost. Oh, but so-and-so had a great game. Oh, and so-and-so pitched like 4.7 in whatever it was. I'm like, how do you know all my Twins players? She goes, I looked at the box score. I wanted to be able to talk about it today.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
It's impressive because let me tell you, we were not talking to her about stuff like that. She could not get her baseball facts into our conversation. It would have just been like whoosh, whoosh. So I think the thing about Sarah, I mean, there's so many incredible things about her. And sometimes people are like, oh, that's not real or whatever. People are so cynical, now. I think they just think that everything's fake, right? And it's not. She's a good person. She was a good person before the show. She was a good person during the show. She's still a good person. She's a very professional person, like she's been working since she was, I think, 9 or something like this. And, yes, she knows her lines perfectly. It can be quite intimidating, right? Like I would always mess up mine and feel so bad because she had so many more than me, but I'm the one messing up, right?
I know.
But on the other hand, it's a great example. Like she's just so solid,
Yep.
But she's also so kind of thoughtful and personable that she would think like, oh, he's coming on my show and he likes baseball. I'm going to read my stats today. Like that's very her. She's very thoughtful and it's lovely. And I feel sometimes like when people become really, really, really well known and they're on the cover of magazines and everything, they just seem bigger than life. Like they're not really real. And I get that. I get that our culture kind of does that to them, pop culture, but there's still a real person in there, with feelings and thoughts, and they're thoughtful and they're complex and they're all the things. And I'm so glad that you had a great experience. I would have thought nothing less of watching your chemistry, right? Like when I watch you and her, she is so free, like there's a freedom and a playfulness that you brought out in her. That,
oh, cool.
Yeah, it was really, really, I hadn't remembered all that watching it. That's what's fun about rewatching, right?
Yeah.
Like much later. And I'm the same as you. Like when I rewatch myself, I'm like, oh no, I was okay. Yeah. Which is really nice because at the time I'm just like, oh, I don't like how I did that. Totally.
I could have read that better.
Exactly. Or I should have turned at this point or whatever, like you can somehow redo it, which obviously you can't. But yeah, now all these many years later, I can absolutely say like, that was really good. Oh my gosh, I didn't know. I'm so happy. Yeah.
There was one scene where it was we're walking through the arcade.
Yeah.
At Barcode, we got a beer. We're just shooting the breeze, talking whatever. And that was my favorite scene rewatching it because it was so natural. I was convinced watching that like, oh yeah, these two are on a date and these two are having a good time. And then I remember when we got in the ride at the end of that scene and it starts to close. I remember looking, that wasn't in the script where I go, here we go. And then she laughs and then she laughs. I don't know why I said that, but I was just in the moment, right? I just
love it. Yeah.
I forgot I was acting. We're just hanging out. Here we go. The ride's going to be fun. So that speaks to what you said about just bringing out the playfulness in her.
The other thing that I love about your character, and I assume also your actual just person, you're so now like that character. You've got the scooter. You're scooting through Barcode, which is like our whole world now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The comics, which then like Marvel wasn't even a thing. Like it was a little culty thing or whatever. It wasn't. Huge, right? Like this is 2000, I think, that we filmed this.
Yeah, 2000.
So you're very on the cusp of all of the things that came.
Video games before you had to go to Barcode to the arcade to play them. Yeah. I would go to Barcode today. That place was awesome.
I know it's still there, I think.
Is it? No, I don't think it is.
Is it not there? Okay, no. See, this is not my area.
You're in LA, right?
I'm in LA, but even when I'm in New York, I would not go to Times Square because wasn't it like right in the middle of Times Square?
Yeah, only tourists go to Times Square. I lived in Hell's Kitchen for 10 years. I lived in Hell's Kitchen during the shooting of that, and that's
fun.
That's the west side of
Of course, I know.
Clinton is what you're supposed to get. So if you get in the back of a cab, they call it Clinton. I'm like, where? Why does that say Clinton?
I know. I do not like the new names. I do not. I find it very confusing. I don't know why.
Is that offensive? Hell's Kitchen? Why are we not allowed to say that? But it's
adorable.
Yeah.
It's so evocative. And like we have so many memories of, how it used to look. And now it's, more shishi, of course, as is the entire city, basically. But we don't need to rename it.
No, it
No.
was more dangerous then. I remember you couldn't go past 9th. You couldn't walk further. You couldn't walk west of 9th because it would get sketchy. Then eventually it was 10th, and now you can go all the way to the water and you don't have a
That
problem.
is so true. I remember that too, because there are some weird little theaters, like smaller non-Broadway theaters that are over there, but you had to kind of plan your ride because there was no Uber. So you had to figure out like, well, I've got to walk east because it's safer to get to the subway. Yeah, I remember all that. I remember all that. It's funny to think back because the city's so different. But, what can you do?
It was great watching the episode. Now I understood what everyone meant by like the city was an actual star of the show.
Yeah.
Because having lived there all that time and now watching it, because when I shot it, I was living there. I didn't really appreciate what I'm looking at, but like every scene, like with the braces, and when they're just walking, they're eating ice cream in front of a park. And I'm like, I'm looking at all these, like, look at that. That is our New York. That was the actual, in my opinion, that was like the heyday of New York City.
I agree. I mean, in so many different ways, like the year 2000 to me literally was the heyday because 2001, in September, we know what happened, right? And everything changed. So I feel like 2000, 2001 were like the glory, like everything was in super bright colors. It just seemed like things were popping and beautiful and fun and active, and kind of like things hadn't been built up yet, but they were beautiful.
Yeah.
And now it's very built up. And I hate to complain about it because I still love it. But I do miss the olden days. Was there any other thing, like, do you remember, were the hours really crazy? Were you like, oh, this is weird, or?
No, it was just all fun. There was nothing that I was ever complaining about. I didn't care how many takes it took because, again, mostly my fault. And not once did she ever give me a scowl. No, don't worry about it. Oh, don't worry about it. I'm sure she was like that with all you guys. But like the barcode, we were there late. That went into the wee hours. And man, I had that stupid scooter.
Oof.
Now they kind of cut it out, but I had to start. We started that scene with me on top of this giant escalator, right?
Oh my God.
That came out the door. And they had it where right as I'm about to get off, I had to pull the scooter out of the bag and like there was a way.
Oh my gosh.
There was a way to like undo it coolly with just one fell swoop, like grab the handles and throw it up, and it's supposed to snap into place. And it wouldn't. I kept getting it wrong, and then I would get it right, but then screw something else up.
Oh no.
Yeah, because you're so focused on getting the scooter right that then as soon as you get the scooter right and you step on it, you go, well, what am I supposed to say? So you got to go up again and back down again. All fun. I
mean, that sounds challenging. That sounds really challenging. I would not want to have to do that with a scooter. No, but you seemed, whatever they edited in or out, you seemed very adept at your scootering. Because I was surprised by the scooter. I don't really remember scooters back then. Obviously now they're, everywhere, right?
And motorized.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. You were like so on the forefront, but it's so interesting. And it's such a different Carrie that we see with you, like kind of a young, there's like a younger vibe, like almost like a high school vibe, which I kind of goes with your character too, because you're still living with your parents, which is like so funny. And also so now, right?
Yeah. You know what I also didn't know? I didn't know that I'm working with a legend. She was a legend in the biz.
Yes, Anita Gillette. We had a really fun time when we got to hire the legends like that were kind of like theatrical people everyone in the theater world knew. And it was wonderful to be able to hire them. And that went on until we just finished our I don't know what we're supposed to call it, continuation show. We had a couple of really incredible old-timey theater actors on, which was really fun.
Let me ask you, when you saw that script, like you said, Carrie was like this different. She got to be this different person. Do you feel like you got that too out of that episode because it was so different, or?
What do I do in that episode? I can't remember.
Oh, you have the Schooner and the Rebecca.
Oh, yeah. I did. I mean, Charlotte does a lot of funny things like that. Like sometimes they have me tap dancing and like crazy things. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like the thing that I liked about it was that it was just enough different that it got your attention. You know what I'm saying? Like you were like, oh, this is fun. This is it's still my character, right? Like it wasn't so far out, but it was different enough. And I remember Alan, and I remember him being really fun to be around. And I don't really know. I feel like we had a few writers where they then became a hot commodity themselves and got stolen away, basically to do their own show. And I do think that's what happened with Alan Heinberg. And I have to find out because I know he's like a big showrunner now,
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. We hit it off. Yeah. I should call him, see what's going on.
Totally. He's a great guy. I haven't seen him in years, though. I was thinking after I talked to you, because you were my big person where I was like, I need to talk to that guy, Kane, because he's super interesting. And
That's awesome.
It's fun to talk to the guys, because I love to hear people's experience, because I didn't get to interact with you. It's fun to hear your take on it all.
What's great about that episode, the show itself is every year, a publication will write a new article about the show and rank the episodes or rank the boyfriends, and everyone always sends that stuff to me. And like the latest boyfriend rank, I did pretty good. I was above John Bon Jovi, so I was like, okay, yeah, I know. But then you see these threads. I stumbled upon this thread that was like somebody said I was ugly. I'm like, oh, well, I wasn't the hottest boyfriend she had. I get that. I understand it. But that's what people are. That's how the internet is. I'm like, if you don't want to see it, if you don't want to see it, don't look.
Totally. That's fun that you get to see it. What happened? So acting wise, you were the hot commodity and you were flying to LA. Were people recognizing you on the street? Were they talking to you? Was it positive?
Yeah, always positive.
Oh, good, good.
God, because that was such a huge show and you're right in the throes of it in season 3, and so that was, I got into a lot of clubs because of that show.
So happy to help.
Past a lot of lines because of that show.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That's good. You had a pretty good boyfriend where you didn't have to do anything too horribly embarrassing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you weren't the funky spunk boyfriend or do you know what I mean? Like you had it pretty good, Yeah,
it was pretty normal. The only thing I had to do, and they cut it out, was because I told people, there's more to that scene in bed that I had with her, but they didn't air it. I guess maybe it didn't look real. I don't know. But no, she was like, we rolled on top of each other. And I forget what the dialogue was. I don't think there maybe was any, but rolling over after the phone call and stuff. And I'm like, they took it out, but whatever. That's how TV works. Things get edited and some things stay in. But nothing was really
it was
bad.
Pretty good. It was really good.
Yeah, in that episode where he had to, his pants were down, his butt was showing, he's pretending to masturbate.
Yes, so embarrassing.
I don't know if I would have been able to pull that off.
Oh, I know. It was a lot. He was very brave. He was very, very brave. It did bring out the craziness of the crew that day, though.
Really? What happened?
I can't even tell you everything that happened, but we worked these crazy hours, right? Also, so no one slept. And then you're doing crazy scenes like that with a Jugs magazine, with my face.
Yeah.
Oh my God, so embarrassing. So I was kind of anxious about it all. And I think Kyle was just trying to, get through it, right? And all the prop guys and the camera crew and everything were in there with them. And then I had to open the door and they had put all these sex toys and stuff, just things to shock me. And they thought it was going to help me, but it made me so mad. And I was like, Kyle, why did you let them? And he's like, I don't know. Everyone's just trying to get through it. You know what I mean? It's uncomfortable stuff.
Yeah, no, I would have needed the set cleared. I'm like, could you get everybody out of here? Because, and then the mirror, I was looking because he was facing a mirror.
Yes.
I wonder if they messed up. I wonder if they accidentally got a little root in the scene or whatever, but they didn't. They were good about it.
Yeah. I don't know why he was facing that mirror when you think about it. That's kind of odd.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Right. He's looking at himself.
Ew. Kyle / Trey has some issues. I didn't even think about that. It was, we were always just right on that line of yes, these things are real and we want to show them, but also they need to be funny. And sometimes it would just get crazy. But that's what I love about your part is that you were this kind of outlier, right? That she stumbles into your world.
Yeah.
And then she just kind of has a frolic in your world. And then in the end, she can't make it work because you're living with your mom, which is kind of adorable.
And I threw her under the bus.
Totally. Exactly. She has to pretend that the pot was hers, which is sad, but so cute. It was just incredibly charming.
That's the line that most people, when I would get recognized, that's the line they always say. And I'm taking it with me when I go. I've heard that so many times.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that. I like that very much.
Or they would do the thing like this, like they're throwing the chicken wings and you put your arms up and try to deflect the wings. They would do that. Yeah. So
that's so cute. Yeah. So cute. I'm so glad you had a good experience.
It was phenomenal. Oh, and I met Ferris. I met her husband.
Oh, you met Matthew?
Yeah, weird way. So I say Ferris because that's what I was thinking.
I was like, wait, what?
No, because we get done with the bedroom scene and no, you can't see because lights are on and stuff. And I'm focused on what I'm doing. And then so I get off the bed and the first person that comes up to me to extend a hand, he says, great scene. I look up and it was him. It was Matthew Broderick. And I'm like, her husband is the first one to tell me. He just watched me roll around in the sack with this. Again, I'm new to all this. This is normal for you guys.
Wow.
But, I just roll around in a pretend hey with his wife and he's telling me great scene. And in my head, I'm like, oh my God, that's Ferris.
Oh my gosh.
Ferris. Yeah.
That's
so just
funny.
Starstruck.
That's funny. Can I tell you a little funny Matthew story?
Yeah.
Matthew does a lot of Broadway and he's great at it. And he did a very serious play once. It was not a musical. And I went to see it on the weekend and, we were in production and I wanted to support Matthew. So I went to see it. And in the middle of a scene of this very serious play, these fans who were in the balcony of the Broadway theater had brought a huge banner that said Ferris on it, and they unfurled it in the middle of this scene.
Oh,
and I was like, oh, poor Matthew.
That's a pro.
And you just have to ignore it and keep going. And those fans love him, right? But it's not really appropriate. Do you know what I mean?
No. I mean, he's much more than that. He's Matthew Broderick, and now he's doing this. And but that's how much people love that character. And then do you get mad when you're associated so much with one character?
It's hard to know. I think you go through every feeling. You know what I'm saying? I think you go through every feeling over time. And the nice thing that I just heard from Sarah, he just did a movie with Alan Ruck, who plays his best friend in Ferris Bueller.
Oh, yeah.
So they've worked together again, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
So, sometimes I feel like you circle back. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe for a while you're like, I don't want to be associated with that anymore.
Yeah.
It's too much. And then after a while you're like, no, that was incredible. And I love this person. I want to work with them again.
I think that's exactly it. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I love them both. And obviously for me, that was a huge movie. So I totally understand. And I'm glad. It's very rare that Matthew came to the set. That's interesting. Was it? That's an interesting story. Mm-hmm.
Well, he's like, who's this?
I think it might have been. I think it could have been. But that just goes to show that you were fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you for your time, Kane. You added so much. I just love to hear from the guys. Thank you.
Thanks for the invite. This was so fun.
It's my pleasure. Yay.
I was looking forward to it for a long time. So thank you.
I'm so glad. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.